Hey guys, it's Josiah back again with another video. Now in this video, I'm going to be walking through my agency's onboarding mistakes when I was onboarding clients, right? Now if you don't know, at one point I managed around 35, let's say agency client for lead generation agency when I was running my lead generation agency, right? And I was working with marketing agencies specifically, helping them book appointments, sign clients, basically everything end-to-end process from making an offer of going to market, booking them appointments, make sure they close these appointments and just scale their agency. And I thought I should do this quick video going through kind of a few key points that I wrote down on what mistakes I made and how you can avoid these mistakes and then in hindsight, increase your retention, increase how long clients stay with you, and basically generally all of that, right? So the first thing I'm gonna say is actually, especially because I was doing lead generation, and a lot of the lead generation, all the clients that I work with also do lead generation. The main thing that I wish I would have done with the first client is set proper expectations about what is qualified, right? Now, this is because when I was working with clients, sometimes we'll help them book meetings, we'll help them sign clients, and clients will kind of pick and choose what meetings they deem as qualified, right? And sometimes clients will come into the relationship or into the service with a very high expectation of something that we couldn't even manage ourselves, right? So with that being said, because at the end of the day, clients don't really know what reality is. They think that when they join, let's say a service, that they're going to get exactly whatever they want. Or for example, they want, let's say 10 million, $100 million companies, and they want to speak with 50 of them every single day, which isn't possible, right? Especially if you're running email, B2B lead gen, you can't just book that many appointments with that many high budget companies all at the same time. So what I would have done in hindsight, if I were to go back, is actually tell them and have a conversation with them in terms of what is qualified, right? So imagine it like this. So let's say their expectations, like I want $10 million companies, I want to speak to, let's say 20 of them per week. And let's say your reality is maybe we can get you in touch with 10 for let's say $5 to $10 million companies, but we can only get in touch with them, or let's say 5 to 10 of them per week. Then I'll have a conversation with the client saying, this is what I feel like is, let's say acceptable or what we can actually do, versus what their expectation is. And then what I'll do is I'll make sure I have that on paper, right? And when I say paper, I mean send them a Slack message, perhaps add it to the contract, have something that is very tangible in order to do so. And also, when you do have, let's say, these qualification on paper, what you want to do is go to wherever the scheduling software is, whether it be Calendly or Schedule One, and make sure that it has these qualifying questions. So you and the client know black and white if this lead is qualified or not, right? And this will save you thousands, literally hours and thousands of hours of, let's say, client chargebacks or perhaps client dissatisfaction, because the client actually knows and you know what is qualified or not. So then you can use them to apply to all the filters that you have, whether that be your email campaigns, your Facebook campaigns, to make sure that you're optimizing for what is qualified and what is not, right? Just that one tool, just that one hack right there can literally save a whole relationship, right? And a client relationship, because all it is at the end of the day is just mismet expectations, right? The client's coming into your service thinking they're gonna get X, Y, Z, and you need to kind of just tell them this is kind of the reality of what it is, and then being okay with that, okay? And that's the main thing. And overly, that's the first point. The second point I wanted to go over is not asking all the necessary information required on the onboarding form. So when a client comes in order for them to go through the whole process, the first part is of course them signing the contract, then adding them to Slack, but then also fill in an onboarding form. Now this onboarding form needs to be extensive, but it needs to only ask the most relevant questions, right? For example, in our onboarding form, we had everything in terms of what is your offer or what service do you sell? Who's your ideal client? Do you have any case studies? Can we speak to the clients? And the way we'll have case studies, and this is a very big hack as well, is we want them to input the case studies the way that we like for it to be inputted. So it'll be case study name, industry, the transformation, revenue added, time frame, right? And we literally give a client the example of how we want it to be inputted. And we make sure that each and every single client inputs it the exact same way, because it makes our job easier, right? So look in terms of everything that you need from the client and make sure that you look at the 20% that you actually need, right? And remove all the 80%. You don't want a big ass form that clients spend hours and hours just filling it in. You want a very simple form, because the more simpler it is, the more likely the client is to fill it in, right? And is to fill it in right. And if you go through a lot of clients and you feel like they're not answering a specific question in that form, or they're basically saying it incorrectly, give them multiple examples of how to answer that question, right? So they know, hey, when I go to this form or this question, they want the input to be like that. Okay, so that's another point that you want to know. And this also is going to help you dramatically, right, when it goes back and forth with the client. Because another thing is, if a client comes into service, they want everything to feel smooth, right? Especially if they're paying you 2, 3, 5, 6K per month, they want it to feel like a handheld service, right? So you going back and forth on them saying, we need this or that, we need this, that, they're going to feel more like pain, right? It's going to be like a kind of a pain avoidance, like, hey, why you keep asking for stuff? Why can we not just do it once and go and just move forward? And that client experience is going to help you literally retain the client as much as possible. So of course you can make more money from the client, right? So the next thing is not having a clear roadmap. Now this kills majority of the agencies, and literally I've seen just people, agencies that have a clear roadmap for their client and not have the clear roadmap for clients, and the one that have the roadmap for the client are more likely to actually get the client result, right? Now, what I mean in terms of a roadmap, this is basically a 90 to 100 day roadmap of things that you're going to do for the client, right? And things that you need for the client, okay? And this will also help the client understand what the service actually entails, right? Because a lot of clients, they'll come in and they'll just say, hey, we're just doing Facebook ads, but there's actually no strategy, or there actually is a strategy to the Facebook ads. And clients that see that, hey, these guys actually know what they're doing, they actually have things outlined, it just gives them more of that reassurance, more of that confidence that they're in the right hands, right? So what you want to do is you want to basically I use a Miro board or anything like that, and you basically want to list out basically steps of things that you're actually going to do in the, let's say, first 30 days, let's say the onboarding phase, and also let's say the testing phase of what you're doing, and then also the scaling phase of what you're doing, okay? So in my lines, you can put, let's say in the onboarding phase, we're going to be doing copywriting, we're going to be targeting, we're going to be setting up all the emails. If you're doing email, if you're using LinkedIn, we're going to be setting up all the LinkedIn accounts, and then by day 14, we're going to launch, right? Now between day 14 and day 30, you're going to be expecting around 1 to 3 appointments per week, and all we're going to do in that phase is test these main parts: the offer, the niche, the messaging, right? The conversion system. And then once you have that dialed in around day 30, then we're going to be then scaling, and then you're going to be getting, instead of 1 to 2 appointments per day, you're going to be anywhere between 2 to 4 appointments per day. That's what you should expect. And at that point, we're going to expect you to be producing content, doing the daily vlogs, or not daily vlogs, daily YouTube, things like that. And let's say day 30 to day 60. And then day 60 to day 90, once you have everything dialed in, we're then just going to be adding more accounts or increasing the volume. Okay, and then also we're going to use a further optimization, looking at different target segment, perhaps going, let's say, up market, lower market, different job titles, and we're going to be using that to actually scale you even further, right? So just having that, just the outline, it makes the client feel so secure in, hey, they've made the right decision to pick you as a scaling partner, or as a growth partner, or as an agency, whatever you want to call yourself, okay? And just doing that is also going to help your team fully align on how we actually deliver client results. Because if not, that's one of the most important things. You can sign all the clients if you want, but if they're just churning, they're asking for the money back, you're going to literally put yourself in a very, very bad position. So guys, from managing over 100 plus clients, just have a clear roadmap. And if you don't know what it is, just give it a rough outline, right? You don't have to know each and every single intricacies of the roadmap, but just a rough outline in terms of what you're doing. And then from that rough outline, as you get more clients, you can then refine it further. Okay, so the next part is not having a clear contract. Now, this will literally save you from chargeback, disputes, everything like that. You must have a clear contract, right? And that clear contract goes through a lot of things. The work's done, the conditions of the guarantee. Like if you guys are running a guarantee, which if you are in more competitive markets, I 100% recommend you guys having a guarantee. And you want to state what is required from the client, what is required from you. And another thing I like to add into guarantee, if the client decides to stop the service in between, let's say if it was a 6-month service, if they decide to stop, let's say month 3, they will not get a refund for all the 3 months. Now you may be thinking, oh, that's outrageous, everyone said, but from me, from so many marketing agencies, I can't tell you how many times that maybe it's been month 4 or month 5 where like an agency just cracks it for a client and then they make all their money back in month 5 and 6, right? So you really want to have that time to test, because guys, marketing takes time, right? And the only thing about marketing that I realized of running so many campaigns, that only takes one angle, one offer, right? One tweak to the campaign to make all your money back. And then you can use the exact same thing again and again and again. And in hindsight, I've seen when I've been running campaigns, the most I would work on a campaign, the most I'd be ripping my bloody hair out here and doing all this tests and all the scripts when the campaign wasn't working. When the campaign was working, it was literally autopilot. I'll spend maybe 30 minutes a week or even sometimes 2 hours a month, just working on that client's campaign because we just used the same offer and just added more accounts and scaled it, right? So at that point of skill is when the agency is actually not doing the most work. And that's what you have to actually realize, right? So then have the condition guarantee, what they're doing, you need from them, what they need to do as well, and actually give them high standards of things you need to do. Because at the end of the day, guys, you want to maximize the client results, okay? So, and also any chargeback clauses. So let's say, like I said, if they stop in the middle of the 6 months, then they're not entitled for the money back because you need enough time to actually get them results, okay? And last thing as well is you want to add what your service does not include in the contract, because in between this, let's say the 3-6 months working with clients, they are going to ask you for things that, yes, you feel like you can fulfill, but it's really going to increase the operational complexity of your business, right? Let's say and this is how a lot of sort of like full service agencies are formed. You start off with Facebook ads, then the client's like, oh, can you do the content? Then you actually say yes for an extra amount, and then as you go on, you have a few things for clients like doing X, Y, Z, but you're not actually improving the top line of the business, right? Because the Facebook ads are very easy for you to scale, easy for you to manage. Clients are gonna get amazing results from it. So instead of you just signing more Facebook ads clients, you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna take all the money that comes. So you wanna have clearly defined on your contract what things you are not entitled for, right? So let's say we're not entitled for your content, we're not entitled for your SEO, we're not entitled for XYZ, we're doing not handle XYZ. So the client knows before signing up what they can ask you for and what they cannot ask you for, right? And that's the main thing. And I see one of the biggest bottlenecks or mistakes is actually just being a yes man to your client. Just because your client's paying you $2K a month doesn't mean you have to run the whole business for them, right? They're paying for a service at the end of the day. They're not paying for you to be bloody like their shareholder or the CEO, unless that's what you've sold them, okay? If you just sold them a service or you just told them, hey, we're gonna do this, then be explicitly clear of what things that you can take care of and what things that you can't take care of as well, okay? So that's it for this video. So like I said, let's just recap. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have a clear understanding with the client of what is qualified and what is not qualified. Make sure that is all titled, let's say in a contract or a SAC message, so you and the client are both held accountable to what it is. And make sure that you also set the client expectation in terms of what is qualified. Let's just not take what they say, or let's say they have an idea what qualified is, but just don't take it as literal, like straight source or like straight face from them. What you want to do is look at, hey, what they feel like is qualified versus what we can actually deliver, and then find a nice medium to that. Okay. Then we talked about making sure you have the right, let's say, onboarding form to ask the main questions from the client, like the case studies, the offer, the guarantees, everything like that, and only pick the 20% of the questions. Also add examples as well to them. And then we talked about having a clear roadmap, right? A 60 to, let's say, 90 to 100 day roadmap of things that you're actually going to do per client each and every single month to give them the secure, like making them feel secure and giving them the reassurance that you can actually help them scale their business. And then also we talked about the contract, right? Making sure your contract is dialed in to avoid chargebacks, disputes, and also to give the client the right expectation when joining your agency. Right now, if you need any help bringing this together, of course, we have a form below where we help agency owners add this on. It's fully there. If not, just like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.